I want to have a healthy interaction with the masculine. That is the number one ask that I've been asked for 25 years as a pro dominant. But you say, well, what does that look like? Does it look like whips and chains? No, it doesn't look like whips and chains. It looks like prioritizing their wants, their needs, and their desires over your own.
I'm Amy.
I'm April.
Certified sex educators, sexperts of the year, and best-selling authors.
And we're on a mission to help you have more spicy, connected, and amazing shameless sex.
Welcome to the Shameless Sex Revolution.
We're so close, it's like we have our own language. We're making sex and relationships shameless.
To learn more, go to shamelesssex.com.
And for 15% off some of our favorite sex toys, use code SHAMELESSSEX at purepleasureshop.com.
You are listening to a pleasure podcast. For more from our sex podcast collective, visit pleasurepodcasts.com.
Well, hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome back to the Shameless Sex Podcast.
How you feel? How good you feeling? How good you feeling?
I feel fucking fantastic.
Why is that?
We just got back from our 4th retreat in the desert.
We're buzzing with excitement and joy. Comfort and joy.
Yes, Shameless Sex Retreat was sold out 2 months in advance. We have a wait list. We will be doing more.
But four more people sign up today for the wait list.
I know.
Randomly. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
So it already ended, but...
Shout out to all our people probably listening now after the retreat, post-retreat.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for filling our cups up. That was really... It was a couples retreat, and then we had one human there that wasn't a couple, but her partner couldn't come.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was awesome. It was beautiful. So it was in the sexy desert. It was 100 degrees a day. We had this luxury villa.
Felt like it was definitely nice. Felt like it was 200 because the fire burning up inside. I heard people banging in their rooms.
Goodness.
But I was like,
yeah, the naked times. So just so you know, if you come to any of our retreats, it's not an orgy. It's not a gangbang. It's educational. It's playful. And you might be like, I just want to be naked.
If it was an orgy or a gangbang, I wouldn't be able to go because I would be terrified.
You don't want to. Yeah, you don't want to go.
I would not be there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, oh.
So yeah,
help.
we organize other magic, not orgies and gangbangs.
No, but we do organize magic of couples that almost were in a space of wanting to separate.
Speaking of magic, so our sponsors.
Oh my God.
So okay, if you're not following us on Instagram, go look up Shameless Sex Podcast.
I set you up for that.
Yeah, you did. You did. Go to look up Shameless Sex Podcast. We are shadow banned, so you might have to go to my Instagram or April's. She's April Lampert on Instagram. Lampert, not Lambert.
Meh.
And then also
Amy Shameless Sex. But and 3 S's, okay?
And then you'll see photos and videos of the magic wand floaty in the pool.
I also did a photo shoot and they released the waterproof.
I know. So all these things, everyone's like, we have no idea what you're talking about. So go look us up, go follow. If you're not signed up for our newsletter, and maybe if you want to come to our future retreats, we're trying to do at least 2 to 3 a year, go sign up for a newsletter. It's free. We only send you about 2 newsletters a month. And then you get the first info / discounts, and you get 60 plus free creative tips on how to spice up your sex life.
I also want to say, just to anyone's safety precaution, no magic wand before the magic wand waterproof, which is coming out in May of 2025, is waterproof. So do not stick your magic wand in the water because it will die.
You need to get the waterproof one.
Yes. So the waterproof one is coming out. It's also stronger. I have one. I have never come
hard. The thing is amazing.
I took pictures of it like blasting the water out of the pool.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
Yeah.
It's quieter than I've ever had any other magic wand be. Look, I'm still going to love my
more
plug-in.
powerful and quieter.
It's quieter and it has like the rumble of it. It's insane. Okay. I'm not going to say much more because I hope it's on shelves or in Pure Pleasure Shop by this time. And if it's not, stay tuned because we'll let you know when it is.
Yeah.
Like I can't be more excited about this magic wand. I've never been penetrated so deep.
The retreat is
externally.
Actually, no, that's true. I was like,
no,
that's
I'm serious.
What it does.
It's
that's
super
the deep rumbles. The retreat was also sponsored by Uber Lube. Everyone had the best lube in their hands for all
Although
things.
we were missing a lube slip and slide.
I know. Next time we're doing an Uber Lube slip and slide.
You promised.
And Sport Cheese, our favorite softcore.
Okay, I'm gonna keep being the chip
floggers.
On the side.
Yeah,
the floggers. We had people
in the dance party.
The dance party, and also when we did photo shoots, we do erotic photo shoots, which people get really nervous about. They get nervous about the photo shoots.
It's
but
nervous, scary.
So cool.
It's normal for that to be scary.
We gave them props if they wanted it. They had options of getting a flogger or like a gentle flogger or a
And they're all
beautiful
like,
paddle.
I want to walk home with this, please.
Well, and then we give them gifts. And also Coquette, which is a lingerie company out of Canada. They provided us a bunch of beautiful lingerie, which all of the folks that participated in one of the photo shoots, which was everyone, not the dudes, sorry. There wasn't dude lingerie available at this time. However, the women did receive some cool pieces from Coquette and filmed. I didn't film them, but I shot them.
We can't release that information, but
and we can't, not the photos.
I got to see them walk out of the photo shoot room and they were just like lit up and
they
then
got a
lit
little
up the rest of the retreat.
Yeah.
So that's the retreat that just happened there. I think we're aiming for October for our next one, probably in California.
2025.
Stay tuned. If you're in or near Santa Cruz, Bay Area, this is California, we have our last event tour of the year. It is on May 31st here in Santa Cruz. Go to shamelesssex.com. It is different from the retreat. It is edutainment. It's comedy.
Shameless sex comedy meets variety.
Exactly.
Just open your mind. There's no live sex.
You're gonna be
You'll
cracking
laugh
the
your
fuck
ass
up.
off, and you'll leave feeling whole and complete,
and you'll learn some
probably
things.
full of a lot of joy.
And maybe some toys and products along
I
the
think
way.
it's going to sell out because we're nearly full already.
Yeah,
so
I know.
We've sold. I don't even want
VIPs
to
have been sold out for like 3 weeks.
Yes.
Yeah.
So get a seat. Get it right now. Shamelesssex.com. Get it while I'm like the peanut guy at the baseball game.
I love the peanut guy.
Get your peanuts.
Get your peanuts.
Get your shameless sex.
But I just thought penis when I said that. Okay.
I know. That's why I went there.
So before the sex question, one other shout out. This is from for Dirty Lola. We love her so much. So Dirty Lola, she's been on our show twice. Her most recent episode was only a couple weeks ago. It's episode 427.
Yes,
and
427. When we were in Vegas.
Yeah, in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yes. And so she has her own mini series coming out. And when we tell you about other podcasts, which we do often, is because we love them and we listen to them.
I love that she's doing a mini series. Her voice is so nice to listen to, and she's full of such incredible information.
She's amazing, and she's fucking hilarious too. So the mini series is called "So You Want to Try." ... You don't need to think about that. Just go to the show notes if you would like to listen, and we will have it there for you.
Go to the show. Yes is in the show notes.
Yeses. Yeah, Dirty Lola is fucking awesome. All right, ready for a sex question?
Yeah. Oh, she hooked us up with Goody Howard. She connected us with Goody Howard, who is our guest entertainer
in Dallas,
an educator in Dallas. So
who will be on our show soon.
Shout out, yes, she will, and shout out to Dirty Lola for that connection.
We love you, Dirty.
Changing lives.
Dirty Lola. Okay, sex question. Oh yeah, I like half lost my voice in the desert. April's like, "Are you a teenager right now? What's going on?" Okay, here we go.
I like it.
My wife. Just kidding. Okay,
my wife. She bested
my wife. No, I'm not going to do that. That was a murder mystery night. We did the
no,
Texas.
No
theme.
reveals.
Yeah.
No reveals. No, it wasn't. It was just Wild West.
Okay, Wild West. So
you could be from Arkansas.
I will not do that when I do this question.
All right, I'm ready.
My wife loves vibrators. And I can't.
Sorry, I'm dying.
I know. And I can't help but feel a little left out when we use them during sex. Is this just a me problem? Is there a way I can get over this? I want her to have all the pleasure, but I can't stop getting in my head and feeling a bit inadequate.
This is crazy. This is like the fourth question we've had in like the last few months about people's feelings about vibrators into their sex lives.
Even at the retreat, we had this with multiple people.
They were like, oh. And it's so wild because once we gave magic wands to everyone at the retreat,
they're like, I get it now.
They used them. They're like, thank you.
Yeah.
This was amazing.
Yeah.
And I've never experienced anything in the bedroom with my partner. So I'm just wowed by the fact that we've had such an influx of questions about sex toys in the bedroom. But I get it. I get it.
And this makes sense, right? So like this person didn't say the type of sex toy. So I think when people are a little intimidated by sex toys, often it's internal, penetrative, right? So then you're like, my dick isn't as good as that, phallus that you're putting in that vibrates that gives you the orgasms. And people are still intimidated by sex toys that are just external because they're like, that thing gives you an orgasm and it seems like it takes more time, energy, or whatever for me to do that. And so we're big.
So these persons, question because I'm reading it. So when
we don't know what they're using.
So my wife loves vibrators. You don't know if it's internal or external.
Yeah.
Okay.
No clue. So if we go through the questions they have, is there a way I can get over this? Yes, there is a way. And
Just
we'll
get
there.
over it.
Just
okay?
get over it. Yeah.
Just get over it.
just stop thinking. No, that's not what we
not
mean.
the
That's
advice.
And is this just a me problem? No, because we're just sharing that a lot of other people, specifically penis owners, but I'm sure there's some vulva owners that could share a similar perspective around this. It's not. You're not isolated. You're not alone. It's a beautiful desire for you to want your body to be the one to give all the pleasure to your partner, and for your partner to have all the pleasure. And the hard part is sex toys are an easier avenue to get the pleasure for whether you have a penis, an ass, or a pussy. And so if that's the easiest way or the only way that your partner can have pleasure, I understand why you'd be like, wait, am I not good enough? So what I would suggest, and we have some other product recommendations for you that are a little more like partnered, that will be helpful. What I would suggest though is just look at your partner's pleasure as pleasure, right? Okay, maybe my dick isn't a part of this or my mouth isn't a part of this, but my partner's having an orgasm or they're feeling good, and being able to drop into that when your mind pops up and is like, wait, maybe I'm not good enough. Just remember, okay, but wait, they're feeling really good. Like, let me make this about them and their experience, because they're the ones having the pleasure. And how can I get out of my way about, like, how can I move away from making it about me? And also, what about you humans who sounds like a penis owner? Get some dick toys too. So your wife has orgasms with vibrators or pleasure, and then you get some dick toys, and then you do too, and now it's a mutual experience.
Well, can I just tell you something that I learned at not a trade show, or a live show that was from Goody Howard, actually, to bring it back, the womanizer.
Yeah.
Premium 2, using it on a penis under the frenulum.
Yes.
And I think I asked that because
I heard that. I haven't tried it yet. Yes.
I know. And I was wondering if you had. And that's
I need to. Thank you for the reminder.
Okay, cool. Because she had said when she was presenting one of her bridology workshops on stage, and she was talking about using the Premium 2 from Womanizer on the frenulum, and she had like a cock phallus on stage and was showing how that works. And I obviously have talked about that openly, that my toy is the magic wand. It has been since the day I scored
mine
it
is the
back in
Womanizer.
1995. I'm just kidding.
I'm Womanizer, Premium 2, ride or die.
But I have one in my drawer, and I am going to try it on my partner. And this reminds me of that. So when you're talking about penis
me too
toys,
now. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, you might need, that's like kind of cool when you can piggyback different products on all people that are asking questions.
And you can take the magic wand too and vibrate that on the head of the cock or on the perineum or something like that. There's so many ways. So getting more creative about the mutual experience with sex toys. And so another recommendation that we have would be to try the WeVibe line or brand of toys,
which is designed for
couples.
Two people. Yeah, penis, vulva owners.
So the vulva owner wears it, and so it's a C shape, and so one part goes in and around and like kind of on the G-spot G area, but it's quite thin, but it has a motor there, so it vibrates there, and another part kind of loops around and is on the clitoris, and that's the more powerful motor, and then you can have penetration at the same time. It doesn't look like a dick, and you even can do Bluetooth technology with some of them where
you could wear it. Yeah. And then you could put it on right now, and your partner could be like, ding, 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 and turn it on.
I could leave right now, get on an airplane, have Wi-Fi, and April could vibrate me with it.
I was like, wait, on an airplane? I wonder if it works if you only have text messaging on airplanes.
Anyway, so we recommend if you're feeling inadequate about, or inadequate was the word this person used, threatened, try other toys that maybe the toy itself doesn't feel threatened, or try sharing toys, or also try getting your own toy too. So it's like a group experience. If you need a lube to use with these, as you know, we love Uber Lube, and Uber Lube is a silicone.
Yeah.
So a safer bet would be to use a water-based lube, and Pure PJUR water-based lube is
from
one of our
Germany.
favorite water-based lubes.
They're Deutschland.
I won't even try to do the
Deutschland,
accent.
yeah. They make really great water-based. They have an anal lube too, specifically.
So I love their anal water-based lube.
Yes.
I actually prefer that for vaginal.
And they have that Lust. Did you try the Lust yet?
Yeah.
Because we got a bunch from the live shows, because they gave us a lot to try, and I feel like
it's like hello.
It's also it feels good on your nipples.
Yeah, or on the head of the cock too. Always spot test before if it's a warming thing.
Oh, yeah.
You can get all of these products that we are speaking to at purepleasureshop.com. If you use coupon code Shameless Sex, you get 15% off. You can try these things. And I think
it's pure PJUR, but then pure pleasure.
Yeah, PURE.
Yes, I know that's a bit confusing.
My brain just died. Melted.
But that's good. We have all the resources for people.
Yeah.
Shamelesssex.com too. You can lead yourself to purepleasureshop.com easily.
Yeah, you'll see our all of our favorites.
If you can't
there's,
remember.
there's nothing wrong with feeling inadequate or threatened by sex toys. And there's so many things you can do about it to make sex toys the bonus that makes your sex life even better and to learn to love them and have even more pleasure for everyone.
I love it. Speaking of bonuses, Orpheus Black being on our show.
Oh, again.
I'm going to read the bio for him.
best.
He's really great, and we're so grateful to have him. And this is a good conversation about switch.
Yeah, so because
and
we've
sub-dom play.
We've had him on our show multiple times. Right? You talk about being like the submissive side, the dominant side. We talked about spanking, choking, flogging. This time we're talking about more the sub-dom relationship and also
Switching,
how
yeah.
you can go back and forth because a lot of people identify
Which
that
we
way.
had a question because we take questions from the audience at our live show. People were asking about switch and how to do that. So if you're listening out there, human that asked that question, I remember your name. I'm not going to say it here. Listen up because you're going to get
Legendary
you're gonna get
Lampert.
some good. He
Just
can't
kidding,
talk
that's her
yet.
dog.
I think it's on the way. All right, here's Orpheus's bio. Orpheus Black is a renowned authority in the realms of kink, BDSM, and alternative sexuality. With years of experience and passion for education, Orpheus has dedicated his career to promoting safe, consensual, and enlightened exploration of sexual boundaries. As a sought-after speaker, educator, and writer, he has helped countless individuals and communities embrace their desires. To learn more, go to orpheusblack.com.
All right, everyone, it is interview time, and we are here with Orpheus Black. He has been on our show many times, and we are so stoked to have him back on our show to talk about kink.
He's in our book too.
He's in our book too, BDSM. And so this topic, as you heard in the intro, is about sub-dom play, and we've done individual episodes about being submissive, about being dominant, and so we're combining them in terms of your dynamics of whatever you're maybe curious about being into or you're doing. And then we are talking about switches, not the kind that you used to whip someone and
Or turn off the light.
Exactly. Not that. So you already heard a little bit about Orpheus in our bio. Can you share a little more about yourself, Orpheus, to us and our listeners about how you got to where you are today in the field of sexuality?
Thank you so much. Yeah, I have been in this lifestyle as a professional for 25 years. I am a 3-time leather title holder, which means people pay me to go out and represent the lifestyle to the world. I am an intimacy coach. I am a fight choreographer, and I also work on set doing intimacy work negotiations between people for their romantic scenes. So I've been on television shows, I've been on the internet, I wrote a book, and this is me now.
What can't you do, Orpheus? You do everything.
I love doing it. Sex overlaps in every aspect of our life. No matter what you want to do, sex is a part of it. You know what I mean? And so it doesn't matter. Sex got me into the movies. Sex got me into TV shows. Sex got me on the radio. Sex got me here with you beautiful people.
It sure did. And you also testify as an expert in court when we talk to you about spanking and choking. I loved that. I tell people about that episode all the time. And the previous episodes, as Amy mentioned, that we've done with you have all been so not only insightful, they've been so helpful. People have written us commenting about what they've learned from those experiences, learning from you and your information. And thank you for sharing your expertise with our listeners and with us for so many different angles and times. And now we're talking about switches. And the past episodes, we've talked about how to be dominant, which is this question is sort of geared toward defining dominance and submission for our audience in terms of kink. But we've also talked about being submissive in the BDSM world. And we're going to connect the two, right? Talking about switches, topping from the bottom, which I love talking about that. So let's start, though, with having you share how you define dominance and submission in the world of kink and BDSM.
Okay, so dominance, I think the easiest way to think about this is the doing, right? Or giving. The other person, the submissive, is receiving, or on the end where they're allowing, right? I like to say permissive, not submissive. I'm giving you permission to interact with my body, giving me permission to lead this interaction. I'm giving you permission to interact with me in this way. So for me, this is a very different dynamic, especially for those who the language is triggering. For some, you say, you're going to be my submissive. And they're like, to hell with you. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I don't want to do this at all. But some other people need to be encouraged to take a leadership role. Because if you're the person who always has to act on your partner, you're the person that's always, I've got to be always initiated. I've got to always do this thing. And you want to just take a moment and allow yourself to receive. You're in the submissive position. You're saying, I just want you to provide for me so that I can just lay back and be in this moment of receptivity. Right? So really, it's about a healing modality. Who is wanting to be massaged and who wants to give the massage? Who wants to give the blowjob? Who wants to receive the blowjob? Who, so on and so forth. To me, this is dominance and submission. It's give and take, yin and yang, reciprocity, which is something that you just don't see anymore.
You just spoke to my soul, and I've said this on past episodes, because my understanding of myself as a sub, and I'm not a lifestyle 24/7 sub. I have sex that is not dominance and submission, but I, as a younger person, meaning early 20s, I had this desire to feel small, which was, and also taken care of, which is you're talking about as the submissive role. It was looking for someone to be the giver, which is what you're saying, or to me was the doer, but also the doer is not, it doesn't exactly work for me because I want to be a part of it. And that's just, I think a lot of people can relate to this, even if they're not kinky, right? And that's actually a question for you, right?
There's nobody who's not kinky.
Oh, okay. There we go.
There's nobody who's not kinky. So look at this. When you talk about kinky, you have to figure out what your baseline is for what normal is. Right? So when you both say, give me two things from each of you, what do you think normal sexual behavior would be? Just something that the average mom and pop, Christian, Muslim does in their bedroom.
Missionary.
Perfect. Give me another one.
Maybe doggy style on Sundays.
Maybe doggy style on Sundays. One more from each of you.
Maybe occasional titty grabbing.
Occasional titty grabbing or pet grabbing.
Blowjobs on birthdays.
Blowjobs on birthdays. Absolutely love this. Now, kink, this is called vanilla. Okay, so vanilla is the aspects of sexuality that we just kind of take for granted. That's just normal. No one taught you what normal was. No one said no one sat there and gave you a book that says there's normal, acceptable behavior. Just existing in the world, we kind of get a norm. That's the baseline. Kink is any deviation from that norm. Any deviation from the norm. So if that's what you think is normal, doing anything outside of that is technically kinky within the framework of your brain, right? What happens when people come over into kink, they start going into another orthodoxy. They're like, well, kink is flogging and kink is spanking and kink is this. You mean normal? Because you're saying everybody does it, right? Everybody spanks, right? That's kinky. Everybody does this. That's kinky. Then you're just going into another space, right? Real kink is how you deviate from what you think is the norm, right? You want to be put on display. You want to be walked around the collar because that's something, it's an edge for you. It has turn on, it has appeal, but it's an edge for you. Okay, let's try that. It doesn't have to be what they do in the dungeon. Doesn't have to do with what they see on kink.com. It's what's an edge for you, a deviation from what you feel is normal. What do you guys think about that?
So what I'm hearing is that it could be for everyone.
It is everyone.
It is everyone. So someone thinking that they don't identify with kink or BDSM in some way, because BDSM, which would be a great time because that is bondage, right? Involved. Yep. So that doesn't necessarily have to be part of the kink play, right?
At all.
They're like neighbors, but not living together.
Right. BDSM is bondage, discipline, sadomasochism, and there's many different ways to say it, but it's an itemized list. It's not the thing. Kink is, how are we going to do something other than the norm? Right? You do this with all your boyfriends. You've done this with all of we do missionary sex. We kiss, we hug, we rub each other up. And I'm tired of doing that. I want to do something else. What does something else look like? The easiest way to find that is, what is the hardest thing to say about your turn on? When you start to say it and it gets choked up and it gets lodged right there in your throat, tell me what that is. Right? So for me, choking was that edge.
Actual
Right?
physical choking, not like as you're choked up in your own throat about
breath
saying
play.
it. Actual choking, breath play. Okay.
Choking my partner is doing breath play with my airway restriction or vagal restriction or something like carotid artery play, shimiwaza as it's called. That was hard for me. And I recognized that was my edge. And that's where my kink kind of diverged from what I thought other people were doing. Well, they're not choking their partners. Why? I don't think that's going to be okay for me. Now we hit judgment. Do you see what I'm saying? Now we're judging because we're not doing what they do, and that's going to make us look bad, or we're going to be weird, or we're going to come off horrible, or they're going to file police charges on us, right? So that's the hardest thing to say. So in your mind, don't have to say it out loud, but think about that thing that you like, that turns you on. That's the hardest thing to say, right? One of the things that you'll notice is a kink coach. Every time you ask that question, everybody's eyes dart to the same side.
We both did that. April and I both did that as you asked us that. Yeah. And you're
I was deeply
exactly.
contemplating.
But also we're looking for like, it's like over here because it doesn't feel quite safe or embodied here.
Exactly. Sometimes we have to go outside of ourselves and go into that fictional dreamland because it's not safe in here. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to embody that. I'm not ready for that yet. Right. And so when we talk about creating safe space for our partners, the Dom creates the safe space so that the partner who's accessing that desire has a safe space to bring that to. Right. So Dom is also the space holder. Right. Sub is the person who needs that space in order to talk about that difficult subject, to act on and embody that difficult way of being. Right. Thoughts or feelings?
Well, what's yours, Amy?
When I look the other direction.
Yes.
Okay. So for me, so my first thought was, have you all seen the show that's based on a podcast and actual real life experience called Dying for Sex? No, it's on Hulu. And it's a woman who only had one orgasm, which was from someone that she was in a traumatic, had a lot of trauma from. It was when she was a child. And then got married, never had orgasms, never really ventured out in the sexual world. And then she has stage 4 cancer. And so she starts to go and explore sexuality. And I thought about this when you were talking about, the hardest thing to say. So she already is, because she's like, fuck it, I'm going to go and like live my life. And so she finds someone on, Craigslist isn't really a thing anymore, but on Craigslist or something that wants to do puppy play. And so he's a puppy and she's like, oh, good, best good boy. And for her, it's just, she feels so alive. And for him, it's fulfilling desires because most people in his world were not able to meet that. They're like, what's wrong with you? Anyways, at the end of that episode, she says, what else would you be into? And he was like, I don't know. I can't say it. I don't know. I've never said it to anyone, even including myself. I've thought it. I've never said it. And she's like, it's this totally safe space. And he says, I'd like to be peed on. This was not mine, by the way. I've tried this before, and it wasn't exactly my jam. But and she's like, yes, and then they explore it. I mean, the mom walks in later. This is not an advertisement for the show, but I thought it was a really great example of exactly what you're saying, like the thing that we all want to look away from, but is in us. So back to your question, April. For me, it's a gangbang. It's a lot of dicks. It's a lot of dicks. There's more than 2 dicks. There's probably 3 to 4 of them. And I don't feel shame around it. I feel more like I don't actually know if it's my thing. I actually have a feeling you'll be too many dicks for me to manage. But I still look to the other direction because I'm like, is that still my thing? What about you, Chip?
I'm sex in public spaces.
Yeah.
It does not turn me on. I get so freaked out about being analyzed by other people about my performance. I would have performance anxiety, like having sex in public space where I thought people could see me. Even in my house, if the blinds are like open, even though my windows are tinted, I'm like, can we put the blinds down? Like, I don't mind lights out, but it's like, there's no shame. I love having sex and I love having sex with my partner and noise making, but just people seeing it, I'm not into.
Oh, I love that. So one of the things that I like to do as a dom, and I'm just going to give you 3 of my 5 criteria, right? When I have this conversation, like first I'm open to it, right? I'm curious about it, right? And then I get excited to hear about it. I mean, like excited. Oh wow, that's great. I love that for you. I think that there's a lot of meat on that bone. I see that that's giving you some charge. Have you ever engaged in it? Is there anything about it in particular that's really turning you on? Is there a reason why you want to engage in that with me? Right? Like really get excited about it, because the next thing that's going to happen if you say something that's kind of anywhere near judgmental or too deep, people are going to shut down. They don't even want to ask themselves this question, let alone hear the question from someone else. Right? So we have to have these big open-ended questions in order to create a safe space. Oh yeah, I'm open to it. I'm open to having this conversation about your desires. You know what I mean? That says a lot. Just saying that can ensure that you have more deep and more meaningful conversations around sex and sexuality.
Hey, Chip, I have a shameless share just for you.
Tell me all about it.
As you know, my partner hates most sex toys made for dudes, but he finally cracked over this small but mighty vibrator from Butter Wellness. It's called the Perineum Massager. It feels so damn smooth to the touch. I can see why they call it Butter Wellness. And I must say, as a sex toy expert, I was shocked at how powerful it is. I've been grabbing it every single night this week and using it on his taint.
You mean the perineum?
Well, yeah, or the gooch, you know. And it seriously takes him into blast off mode like I've never seen him in before. He loves it so much, I have to tell you, he now refers to it as his little blue buddy. Okay, I named it Butter because that's easier to say.
Oh, Chip, I love this share.
I knew you would.
I know. And from my expert perspective, lots of dudes need their own little blue buddy in their bedrooms too.
I knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. And that's you and you and you, because the Perineum Massager by Butter Wellness can not only help dudes get that full body orgasm experience, but it can enhance erections and improve prostate health. Yep. You heard me right. A toy to help dudes get that super O and tap into their male G-spot. Plus, they don't need to insert a thing because this little blue wonder vibrates the prostate externally. That's as super as it gets.
Okay, hold up, because I didn't share also a part for me, because sometimes it's good to be selfish, Amy. We love that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Did I mention it's fantastic for clitoral stimulation?
Tell me more.
Go ahead, try it on your clit during your next romp session, Amy, and all of you out there listening, because I promise you'll feel some super O's too. And Butter Wellness is giving our listeners, that's you right now hearing this in your ears, an exclusive deal way too good to pass up. Just use code SHAMELESS at butterwellness.com to get a super orgasmic 30% off.
30% off is an amazing deal, so grab the Perineum Massager or dive into the Butter Starter Kit right now. That's BUTTERWELLNESS.com and code SHAMELESS to get 30% off your very own little blue buddy.
Hey.
Come on, don't miss out. Code SHAMELESS gets you 30% off. That's butterwellness.com and code SHAMELESS to get a super discount on your super O's.
That's a little blue buddy.
Okay, let's talk about like newbies. And so they like if so say let's use this example as newbies, right? So like my partner comes up is like, hey, I'm kind of interested in doing some sort of like a sub dom play, and I as a newbie have no experience speaking about sex in terms of like how I feel about this or saying all the things that you're saying, right? Like, is there a preliminary step on how to know how to even like respond or ask for these things?
Kiss them and get curious. Kiss them and get curious. Oh, I love that. Tell me what that looks like for you, right? Oh, that's wonderful. That's amazing. I've never heard anything like that. What would my role be? right? See, a lot of people make the assumption, oh, I want to do a DS dynamic. It comes from a cisgender man. You're thinking, oh, he wants to dominate me. We don't know that. Let's not assume, right? So what is my role? Oh, great. That's amazing. How can I better show up for you if we were to engage in that? Is there a way for me to, that's amazing. Is there a way for me? You always give the compliment and then the question. And it's got to come from a general sense of curiosity, not like a structure framework of what I'm not a submissive person and I can't do this and I can't do that. No, it's like, or what do I look like? What if people found out about? As soon as we start going in there, you're adding more anxiety into an already anxious situation. So kiss, then curious, kiss, then curious, kiss, then curious, right? And then never, my lawyer always says, say yes to everything, sign nothing.
Good lawyer right
Smart.
there.
That's a smart statement.
Right? I find the same is true with sex, right? It's like, yeah, that's amazing. Yes, that's great. Yes. I'm not saying that I am going to do it, but if I were, what would that look like? Right? And if it goes to a place that you're not, that doesn't excite you, you say, that's not my turn on at this moment, but I'd love to continue having the conversation. Do you see what I'm saying? So to me, that's how you have these conversations. Oh, big open-ended questions, lots of affirmation, right? If you can restate what was said and then summarize. It's called ORS, right? And it's a part of motivational interviewing. Everyone should learn this process, right? Because it works really good with negotiation. If I say, hey, I want to have a three-way with you guys, and my desire comes from the fact that you're both beautiful. I think we both share the same desires. I think that between your public displays of affection and your desire to be in the submissive space, we can have an amazing time together. How does that feel for you? Right?
Pretty good.
Yes, Daddy.
Yes,
Whatever
Daddy.
you say.
But we know him quite well from the interwebs. So.
Thank you. And so maybe if we hadn't known each other, you might say, thank you for sharing that with me. Affirmation. What I'm hearing is you're looking to have this type of engagement where you have a little dynamic and a public displays of affection dynamic. Is that correct? Right? Thank you so much. I love that. Tell me more about where you're going. Right? Doesn't that feel validating in a way?
Yes. So
yes. That's kind of a good hack for not even in the bedroom, because I've been hit on before by super sweet people and wanting my phone number. And I'm like, well, thank you for requesting my phone number. And here you can have the Instagram account, because it doesn't feel safe for me to give my phone number out to people. So it's kind of, you start with the curiosity, and I'm curious. How's your sex life right now? Listen to Shameless Sex podcast. The episode with Orpheus Black is really great. And so does that work, Orpheus? Am I doing a good job there? Please tell me.
Definitely. So I love where you went. Here's the critique I would make, right? What doesn't feel good in the moment, or what feels good in the moment? Because no one can tell you whether you're right or wrong with a feeling, right? What feels good in this moment is for me to give you my social media, right? And maybe we can connect there. And if things go well, maybe we can work up to a phone number. How's that work for you? I like to go with feelings and then push it back onto the other person. Let's not talk about what you think. Let's talk about how you feel. It also disengages people who are coming with pickup lines.
Oh, smart.
I like that.
Right? Pickup artists are always cerebral and intellectual. They're running a psychological game. So I want to take you out of your game plan and bring you into your body. Right? Because this is really a trope. They're trying to get you to go, you like that, right? Yeah. And you like this, right? Yeah. So you want to give me your phone number, right? Well, the next thing is, yeah, right?
Yeah. April's like, no. But here's my Instagram. So with the feeling thing, with in that case, right? So April, because you were speaking to feeling, like I'm not really feeling that safe to give you the phone number. So, and what if you're trying to inspire feelings in other people to connect with them more, like, and then bring it to the dom sub thing, but also just we're talking about flirting and dating in general, and they deflect. I guess they're like they won't open up to feelings.
You know what? First of all, Ask what's coming up for them, right? People can see feelings coming up and they also understand when they're suppressing. They might say, it doesn't feel like a good conversation talk with you right now, or I don't feel comfortable sharing that information right now, or I don't feel comfortable with you asking me those questions. Let's go with the feelings because that's what's important to me. I want you to feel safe. I want you to feel confident. I want you to feel submissive. I want you to feel dominant. I really don't care about your logic in this conversation. This is an intimate conversation. This is about how you feel with me, right? So let me speak to the feeling portion of you, right? So that's why I say, give me a thought or a feeling, right? Always end with the feeling because that's what I want. That's the last thing they hear. Right. The other thing is when you want people to open up, you have to use the phrasing and the tonality for that. As a dominant, I'm like, hey, how's that feel for you? Is that good? Right? Does that feel okay? Right? Not yes or no. Is that okay? Is that okay to say? Right? And as long as I'm checking in, constantly checking in and making sure they feel okay, most people are more inclined to share. Right? I like to come from one of the four spaces of dominance, which is father, magician, commander or director, and king. If I see a little, someone who's doing something that says, that's a little girl right there. She's sharing her inner child with me. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I love that. You were so special. I love it. It's unique. You're awesome. Right? It's like, oh, wow, that part of me is being seen. And I really like that. Right. And so, or we can go into this other space of magician. I'd love to teach you how to do this. You said you've never done that before. Let's do it together. Right. We can go out, do the whatever the thing is. And if you don't know, I'll show you. I'd be more than happy to lead you through it. Right. That's the next space. Some people need to be told whether to do it. I want you to stand over there, look me in the eyes, slowly undress, only focus on me, not the music, not the people watching, just me. Right? Perfect. So as we're in there in the space, we're doing it. Or you lead by example. You don't know how to stand in the corner? I'll show you. You don't know how to undress slowly? Let me show you. Let me demonstrate. See? No problem. Those four archetypes and those four ways of being can lead you through as a dominant successful interactions because they are the main ways of relating in a leadership role. Thoughts or feelings?
Okay, so these are for yes, I got some goosebumps. These are for if I'm thinking the male role because obviously everything that you define, if you switch those to
Masculine
let's say
role.
a female, right, the masculine. So let's say a feminine role, does that switch or are you still a father, commander?
Like if a woman
Queen,
is doing,
is it still king? Yes, exactly.
So the feminine archetypes are maiden, nymph, which is really hard. It doesn't mean nymphomaniac, right? It's nymph, right? The next one is mother, and the next one is queen or crow, right? These are the basically the four interactions that you can really have in an intimate setting, right? So I can either be what this lovely person does so well, which is give that sense of innocence and playfulness. And I have a desire to be led with someone who's safe and capable of providing loving leadership for me, right? When you ooze that, every daddy archetype goes, shit, I'll do that for you. I'll take care of you, little girl. Come here. Let me show you. Come and sit on my lap. You're scared? I'll comfort you, right? Or it's that sexy, it's that seductress. It's like, you're not going to take the initiative, so I will, right? I'll navigate you through. Look at me, show me, touch me here, do this, do that. It's like I can use my sensuality, my sex appeal to be able to bring out the best in you, right? I can incentivize you to show up in the way that I need to using my sensuality. The next one, which is the mother, is sometimes we can nurture you into your greatness, right? I know that your father didn't listen to you. I know that you got bullied as a kid, but you're great. You're amazing. I want you to go out and be the best you can be for me, right? That's another space to go into. or it's let me demonstrate to you how amazing you are. Let me show you through my demonstration what you can be, what you can do. I'll lead this one and then I'll give it to you. How do those feel for you guys?
Why do I feel so relaxed and met and seen and almost like you're giving me a big hug, but we're on Zoom?
Much. Thank you so much.
Same.
The power of the female psyche is immense. The only difference is one is active, one is passive. Right? And this is really important because in psychology, we don't get enough of active and passive roles. And I'll give you a perfect example of this. There's the active role of trauma, right? There's what daddy did and what mommy didn't. So daddy hit me, daddy spanked me, daddy did this, and you didn't stop him. Active trauma, passive trauma, right? So we have to be able to navigate these active and passive roles. You can have male bodies who embody the feminine, right? Who are using passive, they're using their sexuality, they're using their sensuality to navigate this space. Many male bodies don't do that very often, but it is available to them. Their nymph is available to them. And as a matter of fact, when they do lead from that space, they're often called fuckboys.
Oh,
Players.
yeah.
Right?
Oh, well, because they haven't worked with you. That's why. Sorry.
I agree.
Sorry. Yeah.
And the only way it really shows up is in this kind of, oh, I'm sexy, I'm hot, because they don't know how to navigate that space from a healthy way. They also don't know how to get in contact with their inner child, right? Because they do need to do the healing work as their child. They need to allow their child to be seen. Their child represents their vulnerability, their openness, their willingness to share. And where does this come in the most? When you have a fully functional, healthy relationship. I'll use male, female. A male will show you his child more so than his affection, his masculinity. When he's comfortable enough to show his child, that's his vulnerability taking shape. Mm-hmm. I find that dating, the femme shows his child once they fall in love with you. Right? And it's almost saying, can you take care of me in this way? Not financially, not economically, but can you just hold this space, hold presence, prioritize me? Can you be selfless with me and make sure this part of me doesn't get damaged because it has in the past? Thoughts or feelings?
I'm like, watch the YouTube video so you can see.
Amy's having some really severe reactions.
Process, but a good one.
But in a good way.
Yeah. Yes. Fact. Most pussy owners need some sort of clitoral stimulation to orgasm, and many are not having orgasms from penetrative sex.
Say what?
I know, right? This is one of the many reasons why we are obsessed with OMG Yes. Not only has it changed our lives in the orgasm department, but I've been recommending OMG Yes to my clients for years, and it's completely changed their sex lives as well. OMG Yes features scientific research of real vulva owners, aka women, showing techniques to pleasure the pussy. They turn the research into tasteful, educational short videos, animated modules, and infographics for easy visual learning.
They call it OMG Yes for a reason, because OMG Yes is for anyone who wants to learn about pussy pleasure or take it to the next level. Whether you're a beginner or someone who wants to take your orgasms from good to mind-blowing, then you need to check out OMG Yes. They have 3 seasons: external pleasure, internal pleasure, and sex toys. It's not a subscription service, y'all, so you don't need to download a single thing. And it's great for partners who want to pleasure that pussy too. And for listeners of our show, OMG Yes is offering 10% off when you go to omgyes.com/shameless. Again, that's omgyes.com/shameless to receive 10% off unlimited access towards enhancing your pleasure power forever. Newsflash, everybody. we are picky about our lubes.
Can we say uber picky?
Yes, we can. And let me tell you all why Uber Lube is our absolute favorite lube ever. Uber Lube is a luxurious silicone lubricant that I want all over my body. Yes, it's designed for sex because it enhances intimacy while allowing you to still feel the skin-on-skin contact, but it feels so good that I want it everywhere. Uber Lube is long-lasting, leaves your skin feeling velvety smooth, and it's there when you want it, but then it dissipates when you're done.
Yes. Aside from using Uber Lube for all of my sexy sessions, and I use it all the time, I also use it for massages, for my hair frizzies, to prevent chafing, and it brings out the color of your beautiful tattoos. Thousands of doctors and therapists in the US alone are recommending Uber Lube to their patients because it's body-friendly, less likely to change the pH, and has vitamin E so it feels moisturizing on the skin. Uber Lube has no flavor or scent, which means it's also great for oral sex. And it comes in a beautiful glass bottle with a pump top, which means easy access to Pleasure Town.
Want to see why we think Uber Lube is the best lube in the world? Then go to uberlube.com and use discount code SHAMELESS to get 10% off and free shipping. Again, that's uberlube.com right now with code SHAMELESS for 10% off and free shipping.
I really appreciated how you spoke to that with the masculine, and because I think we talk a lot about like feminine wounding and women with trauma, and so you're speaking from all sides, and so femininity or some variation of being more on the femme side could also be part of being a man, and vice versa, and I felt, again, very seen, safe, and touched, like emotionally touched with what you were saying, speaking to being a woman who has experienced trauma in sexuality and also just with masculinity too, not even with sexual trauma. And you're like, I'm going to take my time, and I'm like, what do you need? Or like, there's just like so much around that energy that is so powerful, and it doesn't mean I'm like whip out the whips and chains, right? And you're not trying to convince me to do that. You're being someone that's in an intimate space with me, considering my unique feelings and speaking to me with curiosity and care.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to give you two things I want to say about this, and thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. The number one ask from my female-bodied or cisgendered female clients is, I want to have a healthy interaction with the masculine. That is the number one ask that I've been asked for 25 years as a pro dominant. But you say, well, what does that look like? Does it look like whips and chains? No, it doesn't look like whips and chains. It looks like prioritizing their wants, their needs, and their desires over your own. It means making sure that they're safe and checking in. It's not going for self and just kind of putting your head down the pillow and hitting as hard as you can. That's not it. It's not spanking someone as hard as you can. It's having an interaction and really trying to see what their experience is. Are they having a good time? Are they enjoying? What is the response? And can we tailor this experience to their unique needs and desires? Right? What are your thoughts?
Do you have feelings?
My feelings are, I think that you can really help a lot of folks explore their sexuality and this side of themselves in this safe way, not only in their partnerships, but within themselves, as I said, because it's a lot of self-work. And I know we've talked about how much it takes. It doesn't mean you have to be contained if you want to enter the dominant space, or it doesn't mean you have to be vulnerable if you're entering the submissive space, right? Those things can be interchangeable in a lot of ways. That's my interpretation of what you're speaking to. And it takes this like holistic approach to what you've endured or encountered, both in your normal life that you exert to the world and your sexual life that you have maybe behind closed doors or maybe openly in some way. My interpretation is that this is kind of a healthy approach to thinking about kink and BDSM, and in a way that isn't like so dark and dungeonous. That's how I feel about it, Orpheus.
Thank you so much. Absolutely. Right. When you guys look at it, you guys are almost polar opposites, right? It's like on one hand, we have a person that's saying, I want to be with you in a very specific way, right? If you can let me be this with you, I can do anything, right? On the other hand, it's almost like I can do anything, and that's going to unlock this way of being that I'm really going to feel safe being in because you can prove to me that you're safe, right? One is more body centric, and one is more identity centric, right? And to me, I'm always looking at that. Oftentimes, when people's bodies have been violated, it's not a safe space to exist in. And so that's not the access point. The access point is allow me to be with you in this way, a way that's vulnerable and open. If you can prove that you're safe, I'll inhabit my body for you, with you, around you, near you, right? And I'll be more inclined to do more because I get to be in a space that's no longer safe for me, right? And on the other hand, it's like that way of showing up for someone has been violated. I was this for you, I was that for you, and you didn't appreciate who I am, or you didn't like who I am, or you shame me for being this person. So I feel safer just doing these things, not necessarily being this thing with you. How's that land with you?
I think this is why my sub persona became a brat. Just saying, I'm like, maybe it was. I don't think it was a brat in my 20s. Like I started becoming subby. It's not all about me. I have a question, and but I think that sexuality in my experiences helped me to. It's safe spaces, right? Or also some traumatizing ones, and like even in my 30s, where it wasn't safe to be in the subspace, and my inner brat started to come out. This like, oh, you're telling me what to do. Now I'm going to defy it. So you have to really prove to me to make me feel safe, because otherwise I don't feel safe. And I'll go into my next question, but I'll just say that.
I would love to hear from you about what you thought.
From me, over here, old banger with the bangs.
all banger over here.
So, okay. I think that in my world, when I would approach things, like my whole world with sexuality a lot was thinking that I was a dominant person because I liked to be in control so much in my natural environment. And I've realized as I've become more attuned to who I am as a person, as a woman, and that I really enjoy relinquishing my control in the bedroom and being told what to do, and becoming a submissive has been so empowering for me, because with people that I trust with consent, right? It's not with anyone that I meet. It's been a long time since I have been dominant again in the bedroom, because I feel so taken care of and safe as this submissive person.
And how does that feel?
And that
to have a vacation.
It feels amazing. And it's like it helped my bedroom game. It helped me not feel like it was a job or a chore for me. I love being a sub now, more than I ever thought, because it didn't have a negative connotation to me. I never thought it was me until I became that. So, which is this, because we're talking about switch here, Orpheus. Does that mean that, is switch still the right term? Does that mean that I'm a switch, like, because I could possibly switch back? Or what do you think?
This is the identity thing. See, so you guys are doing the same thing. It's just in reverse. You know, it's being versus doing, or doing versus being, but it's the same way of accessing this way of being. And this is really important. Switching is often about what you want to do. Do you want to do this to me, or do I want to do this to you? That's often switching. Showing up in roles are usually more stable, right? So if I say, oh, that's my little girl, I love this, I'm here to take care of you, I'll always be here for you. Let's make sure that as we grow and develop together, if anything that I do that violates any of the parameters that we've talked about, you let me know. Does that feel good to you? And they say yes. Now we're going to switch, and now you're my mommy.
No. Nope. Just no. Unsafe. Nope.
It doesn't feel good, right?
Yeah.
But what we do with bodies is more along the lines of what we do. You spank me today, I'll spank you tomorrow. We're kind of fine with that. That's switching. But that's where the body lies. And that's where, with one partner, switching may be a little more detrimental because they equate the doing and being. Right. So if I'm like, you got to dominate my body tonight, and I'll dominate your body tomorrow, that may feel okay, but there's an identity also involved. and connected to that, right? So we have to be very careful. Switching back and forth isn't as fluid and easy as we like to believe it is.
Yeah.
Right? Because these are real people having real interpersonal relationships, and it has real consequences and repercussions within our life. So we have to talk about what that looks like for you. I know that you're a dominant person every day in your life. That's your identity. That's your way of being in the world. And then when you come into this bedroom, you want to put your body into place and let go of control of your body and allow me to do these things to your body, right? And in turn, it's going to affect your identity, right? How you show up in this moment. And that's very important. I like to say, always honor the sacrifice. I really appreciate the fact that you were going to give me this opportunity to be with you in this way, right? If I go too far, too fast, right? Pull the brake, say your safe word, and it all stops. How's that feel for you? Right? And you go into that space again. We bring right back into that place, right? And then what I like to do is we switch back to neutral. You can switch to dominant, switch back to neutral.
Wait, what's neutral? Just like, oh, it was, yeah, what is that?
A discussion place, just like we discussed how to get into this place, we can discuss, from this space of egalitarianism. Because maybe one person is a dominant in their relationship normally, and they just want to have this body fix. So let's just switch back to neutral. How's that feel to you? You're good. You're good. We're all ready to go back into our regular roles. Yeah, that feel good. Okay, great. Let's go. Let's start our day. Let's go out and have fun. Right? Someone else, I might be in a 24/7 dominant relationship and have a DDLG dynamic where it's like she refers to me as daddy. This is my little girl, right? And we go into that space from there, right? But we need to go back to neutral where you're in charge of yourself and you can submit back into our roles. Yeah, that feels good for you. Oh, great. Or is there any repair work we need to do from this neutral place? Right? Did I go too far, too fast? And do we miss our stops? Okay. Now we can go back into our roles. Never think it's just kind of this or that. There has to be this intermediary space. Okay. What do you guys think?
So it sounds like it changes per moment, per day, per experience. And this is not, well, it's his thought, but are there some people that are not switchy, right? Or is there more people that should be switchy or not should, sorry, can be switchy? Or are there a lot of people that are like, I primarily just stay in this space. And for me to go in this other space goes against my heart and my body and my being.
Absolutely. Like I don't like receiving, and mostly it's just what do you call that? It's a mental issue. I just can't let go. I do not want to be tied up. I don't want to be spanked. It's just not appealing to me. So what I try to do is I try to say, what is it? Is there something that you want to provide to me? And what does that look like? Let me check my body and see if that's something I want to do with myself. And if not, I hope you won't hold it against me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. But I do give it an honest evaluation. Okay. So for me, it's just a thing. Some people say, you know what? I don't like to initiate. I don't want the responsibility of making sure you're okay or hitting you. Like that just doesn't work for me, and I've tried to go through my mental narrative, my Rolodex, tried to envision it, just didn't show up for me. Is that going to be a deal killer, a deal breaker for us?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It's like a third date conversation right there. Like talk about that sooner than later.
I talk about it right off the bat.
Yeah. You're like, here we are.
I'm in the bar talking about, hey, here's what I'm into. Here's what I like, and this is the honest truth. We all have those moments where we feel connected and we can have these deep and meaningful conversations with someone we've never met because some reason we're vibing. We're just, our roles match. And there's some people where I'd rather just not waste your time. Here's what I'm into, right? And this is what I like to do. If you're interested, let's talk a little bit more about that. Can I have your phone number? Does it feel good to you? Would you like to stay in contact via social media? Love that. Okay, cool. We can go in from there. And then we just kind of see what happens in that space. But I hit people with it right off the bat. I don't want somebody start liking me and then I'm just like, oh, I like to get freaky with bacon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sooner than later, more too sooner.
Okay, if people want to learn, let's say they have interest, they're hearing this podcast and they want to learn, learn about being a switch. They're like, I really have interest in this. I want to learn if I can do it. Is that something that you could teach them, or is it kind of
Absolutely.
like, okay,
Of course
cool.
they can.
I knew the answer. I just wanted to make sure that that was reiterated, because you teach so many people across the world about not only this, but so many other facets of this realm of sexuality. And you have offerings. We could talk to you so much longer, and we know that you have a busy schedule, so we won't keep you any longer, Monsieur Orpheus.
We have a smidge longer.
We have a smidge longer.
Right.
Wait, can you, before you tell people how to find you and work with you, especially if they want to drop more into their dominance role, submissive role, become a switch, we're going to get that info. But any last tips, if you can just sum up some tips for someone that knows they're a switch and they want to become the ultimate switch?
Yes. First of all, separate who you want to be with somebody and what you want to do with somebody. Because that's pretty much the switching you're going to really do, is between doing and being. It's like, there's lots of people that I want to be an amazing daddy for, right? I mean, it's just something about the way you walk and talk and the way you act and the way you look at me really brings me to the space where I want to nurture the hell out of you. I want to show up there for you. I want to show up all your events. I want to support you. There's something about you that makes me want to be there. Right? That's great. And then there's something you go, I really want to do these horrible things to you, like in public. Like I've got some.
April's like, I don't know, kind of like this a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Because there's aspects about doing and being, and that's really the duality that we straddle between, right? What I want to do to you and what I want to be with you. That is the main switch avenue. That's the first thing that you really need to kind of examine if you want to do both. Right. So I can be dominant with you and do spankings with her. Right. I don't have to be submissive in order to get spanked. That's just what bodies are doing. That's raw primal. You probably have had sex with people and somebody smacked your ass while doing doggy style. Right. Does that mean you were being a submissive? Right. It just meant you had your ass smacked. Right? So we have to untangle this doing and being. Next thing, we have to separate the judgment. Just because you're a dominant doesn't mean you're better than me. Just because I'm a submissive doesn't mean that I'm less than you. Right? Take the judgment out of it. And next, understand that these are real feelings and real emotions and real people. And that what we do here will have long-lasting effects in their life. You're going to be a story in someone else's narrative. And this could either be a powerful transformational interaction that they have or a cautionary tale. Right? So what do you want this to be? Right? So when you're switching, really think about how that's going to empower you to show up in a way that's going to make someone's life better.
Oh my God. I fucking love you so much. In the last couple of minutes, I kept taking these deep sighs of like, and they were not like, I'm anxious sighs. It was just again, like feeling seen and safe in my own body, but also for humans beyond me. And then I had this thought, the thinking brain was like, you are one of my favorite sex educators around kink, like hands down. We love all of the kink educators that we've had on our show. And you're the way that you speak, and it's beyond kink, right? You're speaking to just relating to other people, mostly in intimacy, but also like, I learned some things about how April and I can talk to each other. And just, I feel like this is an episode that I would like to listen to again and again and have transcribed and have notes. And then if we wrote a second book, this would go in there, and you're already in our first book, but wow, just, thank you for seeing humans.
Thank you, Daddy.
Thank you for loving and
you.
seeing people as sexual beings as they are, and teaching other people to be more considerate and curious
and articulating everything around this subject that can be really difficult to digest for some people in a way that is it's easily understood. It's easy to dismantle some of the things that you have in your brain with judgments and reassemble them into a way that feels, I think, conducive to better environments for sex to have more pleasure, which is what we're doing. You really,
or just even within your own individual body.
Yes.
I mean, I had so many moments where it's like, I feel some like shift in myself. Again, I'm going to listen to this episode over and over again. And everyone else, if you're feeling that, maybe do that too. Wow. That was so important. And this is why you're coming back in 3 months to talk about other things on our show.
Yeah.
And
you're a legend.
Yeah.
I just appreciate you guys so much. You guys have just been such a wonderful hosts and such a wonderful space to be able to talk about sex and sexuality. And you guys are so receptive and just amazing. And I just love working with you, and I look forward to doing more in the future.
Please.
Well, speaking of working with you, Orpheus, because yes, your wish shall be granted because our listeners love you as well. It's not just Amy and I showing our love for you because we've said it in the beginning, we'll say it again. We get a lot of great feedback every time you're on the show. So we look forward to seeing you again. In the meantime, until the next time you're on the show, and after, before, what offerings do you have? How can people find you? How can they work with you? I know you have books, you do a lot, you do workshops, you do one-on-one coaching. Please, from your own words, tell people how they can find you, all of your links, any sites, any incredible things that are coming up for you that you'd like our listeners to know about.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I'm actually going back to school. I'm over at UCLA right now. So I'm finishing up school. So we're just starting to get back into it. When I graduate in June, everything's going to take off. I'll be on some cruises teaching as we sail through the Caribbean, doing some geek shows. We'll be at DomCon this year, DomCon LA. We should be at DomCon New Orleans this year. We'll be doing Oklahoma Leather Fest. So you can see me in the Oklahoma, and there's a few other private events that we're doing. There's some really good ones that I want to invite you to down to in Los Angeles, right? And so there's some amazing stuff going on. Other than that, if you want coaching, one-on-one sessions or group sessions, you can go to orpheusblack.com. That's orpheusblack.com and sign up for the mailing list, or just email us directly. We have all the stuff on the site.
What's your book called? The title of your book?
The Enzo, THEENSO. It's on Amazon, or you can go to the website and buy a hard copy.
We'll put all of this in the show notes, everyone. So if you don't want to, you're driving or whatever, you can find all of this in the show notes. And please go work with Orpheus. He's just blown away
every time.
Please do. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Orpheus. And thank you to all of our listeners. You all really do light up our lives, and you keep educators like Orpheus also not only working for the security of all of our pleasure, but you keep the world happier, because it's not always a happy place. It's not always a pleasurable place.
Lightly true.
Okay. I've been thinking about tickets to Mars. I'm just kidding. I'm not going. And that being said, thank you for your support. Rate us, give us 5 stars. We read all of the ratings, and we really appreciate and value your feedback. If you want to give less stars than that, save them for Joe Rogan or another podcast that won't be affected by it, because it helps more people find folks like Orpheus Black, who are changing the world of not only kink and BDSM, but people's viewpoint about who they are as a sexual being. And we need that, the shift. So to all of you, thank you. We give you 5 stars every motherfucking day. Couldn't leave without swearing, you know?
Fuck, shit, cock, balls.
Sorry,
you invited me to do that.
I love when you do that. And remember that we also have premium content. You can check out what we're doing, because we're on live tour soon. If you're in Dallas, Austin, Santa Cruz, we're coming home to you, and we have retreats. So check out shamelesssex.com. We're always up to something new, and we love you. We'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of Shameless Sex. Right, Daddy?
Yes, baby.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Ciao for now.
To learn more, go to shamelesssex.com.
And for 15% off some of our favorite sex toys, use code SHAMELESSSEX at purepleasureshop.com.